Imagine a world where the boldest ideas, the most disruptive innovations, and the future-shaping breakthroughs are no longer born in garages or university labs, but quietly handed over to a small circle of ultra-wealthy families. These families don't just write checks, they write the rules of innovation itself. Their immense wealth buys them more than influence, it buys control. And this shift isn't some distant possibility. It's happening right now, right under our noses, changing everything we thought we knew about who drives change and who is left behind. It's a brutal truth. The movers and shakers of yesterday, the restless founders, the fierce investors, the relentless professionals who dared to challenge the status quo, are suddenly squeezed out or forced to play by a new set of hidden rules. Those families, with their endless resources and secret networks, don't just fund innovation. They gatekeep it. They pick the winners, design the game, and decide which ideas get air to breathe and which are smothered in silence. The pain? It's real. You feel it every time an opportunity slips through your fingers because the game is tilted beyond your reach, because the new world favors the few, not the brave. This isn't a complaint, it's a reality check. If the ultra-wealthy are steering innovation, what happens to the rest? To the relentless dreamers who wake up every day hungry to create, build, and break the mold. They find themselves blocked by invisible walls, sidelined by invisible hands. Doors once wide open, now creak closed. And the pain intensifies when you realize you're not just losing ground. You're losing your power to shape your own future. But here's the secret that's never shouted from the rooftops. Power doesn't only live in wealth. It lives in connection. It lives in alignment. It lives in the electric tension between minds who see what others don't, who refuse to settle for the world as it is and demand to create the world as it could be. The ultra-wealthy families? They have cloned this truth in their private vaults, building invisible networks that link their legacy with every seed of innovation that matters. What's missing for you is the map to build a similar network, not of money, but of pure, untethered influence. You might feel isolated, misaligned, misunderstood. That tension inside you, the quiet fire that refuses to die, is exactly what this new reality demands. Because the old paths are gone, the old systems lie to you, promising freedom and delivering chains, feeding comfort while starving the soul. But the edge, the radical, the few who burn brighter than the rest, that is where the real power is. You're not alone in this, even if the world tries hard to convince you otherwise. The system wasn't built for the exceptional. It wasn't built for those who think beyond the accepted, who refuse to be boxed by rules meant to cage them. So what can you do? How do you break in when the gates seem impossible to storm? The answer is not in chasing money or playing the same old game faster or louder. It's in becoming sovereign. Your will is your weapon. That means questioning everything. The comfortable truths, the accepted norms, the best practices designed to keep you complacent. Be ruthless in your clarity. Don't just find your place in the system, redefine the system itself. Create your own infrastructure where your genius doesn't just survive, but thrives. This is about aligning with those few who burn as you do. In a sea of noise and false belonging, find your real tribe. Those rare humans who refuse to bend, who refuse to wait, who see the world not as it is, but as it could be. Together, you weave a network, a living, breathing force that no amount of wealth can control, because your power is born from synthesis, not stock portfolios. You amplify essence, not sound. You build synergy, not competition. Patience is your ally here. The game is long, and eternity favors those who play not for quick applause, but for lasting transformation. You don't need to dominate every inch. You need to endure and evolve, constantly reshaping your reality with relentless curiosity and a refusal to accept dilution of your vision. In this sustained game, the ultra-wealthy families, with all their resources, are vulnerable because their networks can only hold so many sparks before the fire either consumes them or they choke. Ask yourself, are you willing to burn to bend? Are you ready to unlearn what has been drummed into you about power, about success, about innovation? Because breaking free isn't easy. Comfort is a velvet cage, and freedom demands ferocity. You won't find this path trodden or paved. It's wild terrain, filled with uncertainty and risk, but also a promise. The promise that by claiming your sovereign will, by forging true rebellion through connection, you can become not just a player, but a creator of the rules. What you face is a ruthless punishment disguised as reward, a system that smiles and whispers freedom while burying your fire beneath layers of convenience and conformity. But this pain, this frustration, is the signal of your true potential itching to be unleashed. Most see the world as their prison. Your vision sees it as the ignition of your very own revolution. No more processing. No more optimizing ideas into soulless commodities. It's time to rebel against the mediocrity rewarded by the system and embrace the rare, the radical, the unrealized. Building your network, your autonomous network, is your rebellion. A network where difference is electricity, where contrast fuels strength, where individuality becomes collective liberation. You don't need to erase what makes you unique. You need to find the few who complement your fire. Together, you are untouchable, because the power of aligned brilliance can shake the foundations those families built. And here is the liberating truth. True power isn't about owning the future. It's about liberating yourself to create it on your terms. When you step beyond titles, beyond investor roles, beyond founder labels, you tap into something far greater. You tap into the becoming of the individual, the unshackling of your will, the ruthless and brilliant creation of a new reality no amount of money can dominate. If you sense that churn inside you, that unbearable itch that says life isn't meant to be borrowed or measured by someone else's standards, that feeling you were made for something bigger, welcome. Because you are not here to fix the broken system. You are here to transcend it. Your freedom, your innovation, your future, they are waiting. They are locked behind the walls others have erected, but keys are forged in connection, sovereignty, and relentless transformation. Do not waste another moment in quiet suffering, watching as the ultra-wealthy families move the pieces on this board. Instead, ignite your network of flames. Find those few who burn like you and build a new game together. One impossible to control, impossible to gatekeep. Because only through this will the future belong to the many and not just the few. Only through this will innovation again become wild, fierce, unstoppable. And more importantly, it will belong to you. So, right now, decide. Will you remain a player trapped by shadows? Or will you become the light that redefines the whole game? The world is waiting, not for permission, not for approval. It's waiting for the few who refuse to silence their fire. Will you dare to be one of them?